Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and we have the release of OP06 here in North America this weekend. Super excited for a new set of cards for the One Piece card game, and to celebrate, we have 6 deck lists for you guys. I wanted to just give an example deck list for each one of the new leaders that we get in this set. All of these are on my website, which are linked in the description, and I will be updating it with new events as we get them here in the OP06 meta. So looking forward to it. If you guys appreciate this content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's just jump on into it. So we have 6 leaders, and the leaders that we're going through kind of like from worst to best in my mind, and none of these I think are like too spicy, but I think they're very good just to kind of go over what they do and just like a basic build for you guys to get into. So we're going to start off with red, purple Uta, and we're also going to say Hody. Both these I think these are like the least viable leaders for the set, unfortunately. Uta specifically, I've not been able to get this to work in any regards. I haven't made a video going over Uta specifically, and that's mostly because I just don't have a build that I like enough to even show you guys. So even disclaimer, this build is just like as good as I can make it, and even then it's just all right. So don't think that this is like the best build. I'm still like a little upset with how Uta's not fantastic, and we just have so many red purple leaders right now that I think the other ones are just strictly better than it. So I don't have much more to say. Here's the build if you want to try it, and good luck if you guys are playing red purple Uta. And then Hody Jones is kind of like a bit of a weirder spot. The biggest thing is that he has kind of like a kind of like lore based errata that hurt him a little bit. It's the fact that this Hyozo is not a, it's a merfolk, which has been errated, and which the Eggman events has been updated on the correct upgrade for this. So it's a merfolk, which means that you don't get the synergy that you want with it. So because of that, they're like, you can't play it off of the 5-cost Ikaros, because it's only a fishman type character card. So that's an issue. We do get a promo to fix it with the Hody and Hyozo, which is the only reason that this one is built. It's literally the exact same card, but it has Hody in it, so it has Fishman, which makes it make sense. And then also we have Jinbei, which is another promo that we're getting. So, which is a Fishman, which is a 2K counter, which is the counter, which is the biggest thing for him. Other than that, like this deck, and even if we have all this stuff, like this deck is just okay. So, it does have like a really good curve of like turn 1 Kami, turn 2 we play like Dosen or Daruma or Mihawk to be able to play a 4-cost if we so desire, including this Arlong. Arlong off this is actually really nice. And then we can do something like we can play Ikaros and then play another guy. So like there's like a lot that this deck can do if you find the curve on right. Like playing Hody Jones on curve is actually pretty silly. But without seeing that, without that consistency, this deck kind of like it's really, really tempo based. And if you miss out on like the best card for that turn, you're just kind of in a bad spot. So this is my build for it. I don't think it's too fancy, but again, like it's just not like the consistency that I'd want for a deck like this. And the leader itself is like really unique, but it's also just a little bit clunky because of it too. So those are my thoughts for this deck. If you have a better build that you like, go for it. But I just haven't found it for this guy quite yet. All right. Next up, we have Yamato, and I like Yamato. I do like the yellow green combination. I played a lot of Arlong back in the release of him, but I just don't find a build that I jive with Yamato yet, which is really exciting, right? I think Yamato is probably like the most creative leader that we can play with right now. Yellow and green have some really good synergies. The double attack that we get from the Yamato is pretty good. The activate main as well, being able to do this. So there's like you can go really aggressive, you can go mid range, you can go the fortress build. The best build that I've found personally is this kind of like the Sky Island version of it, which kind of uses the Shura, because I do like using the Ohm and using the Ohm to find Holy, which just means that we get more activate main triggers from our Yamato. Because the biggest thing with this leader is that most of the time, like you have to like either pressure with leader or build board, and so without being able to like have a card to give Dawn 2 with the Activate main, it just seems kind of worthless at times. So I do think that's something impactful for this leader. You do have to kind of play into doing that. So I do like Holy just being able to get 2 bodies. Hopefully one of them will stick, and then you get the additional value from it as well, which is pretty good. We play the Kiko Nojo, which I think this card is good, but it's sometimes just like stuck in hand, which feels bad. And then the Koizuki Momosuke. So honestly, Hiyori is a really solid card for this deck. You just have this on play, put the top or bottom card from your life pile into your hand, then put up to 1 card from your hand on top of your life pile. So if you have a card that has trigger that you want to put on top, for example, like an Onami, or if you want to be able to use it to put like a Kiko Nojo to the top of your life to play later, I think it's usually worth it. And then afterwards, you can use like Momo to put it back into your life, and then you get like the card draw and the heal, and it's just like a good combo for it. So obviously at 7 Dawn, you get to do that pretty quickly. Generally, I think this deck wants to go first because we can go and attack first as well. If we go second, we do have some like backup plays with like Shura and the Hiyori as well. I also like this Hiyori as well, just being able to give something like sometimes like we need to spend 2 Dawn to be able to get like the most value from our Yamato. So you can do something where you play this for 2, give your leader +1, and then you can use the 2 Dawn and attach it to one of your battle or your character cards too. So, and the trigger off life comes up every once in a while, makes you a 6k leader for the turn, which can be kind of impactful too. So pretty personalized build for this. I think there's a lot of personalized builds for Yamato, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes out on top. Next up, we have Perona, and I really do like Perona. Like the green-black color combination is really unique, being able to get a lot of control aspects. We are kind of in a meta where a lot of decks really focus on 4 costs, like Moria and Sakazuki. They really do care about their 4 costs. So being able to use this effect to either rest up to one of your opponent's characters, the cost of 4 or less, or give it to one of your opponent's characters -1. It's just really, really flexible for this leader. So I think it's really unique, being able to you just get like some really good early game pressure. So for example, you don't even have to attack into them. You can have your Perona attack into their characters, and it's going to be really tricky for them to like establish something early game without like losing a lot of cards in hand or something. So the good top end, also obviously like we can use Perona to rest something, and then we play a Ryuma, and then we get to KO it. So that's pretty good in its own right. I like Kuzan just for card draw, and sometimes like being able to get like Kuzan -4 something, and then like if your opponent has like an 8 cost, we use like a Perona to rest it, and then we can play Ryuma to get out of it. So that's pretty good, almost good enough for me to like put like a copy or 2 of Ice Age, but I haven't been that bold yet. And then we do just have a good amount of 2 drops, brand new. Lets us put cards into our trash, Resonante as well. Lets us like get some recycle. Both these are Navy cards, which is good. But then we also have like the Don Quixote Pirates, so like Virgo and Baby 5. There's just like a lot of synergies with both these packages that we're able to take advantage of it. And then we look at the top end of Gecko Moria, which is pretty good. So, and then like our end game is just Don Quixote do Flamingo, which is really great because again, Perona can use the effect to give something, rest something 4 or less, and then you can use Dofi to block, lock it down. So if they play a blocker, blockers are pretty useless against Perona. And even if they have like Borsalino or Sabo, we do run a couple copies of Brook, which is able to get rid of just put it doesn't KO, it puts up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less into their trash. So because of that wording, it gets around like protection, and it's really, really handy for the deck as well. So not much more to talk about. I think this is a really cool deck. It's a little bit momentum based, but you are able to get a lot of value off your cards, and Gecko Moria and Dofi are really strong for gaining value for you. And if you're able to just chain some Dofis back to back, I think you're in a good spot. So this is the build there. All right, next up we have Reiju, and Reiju might not be like the best deck in this format compared to maybe the other 2. I think like there might be like some differences between the 3 of these. They're all pretty close in my mind, but Reiju, I think this build is just pretty solid. We don't have a lot of room for experimentation if you're playing at least the Vinsmoke version of this, which I think is at least out of the box the best one for the deck. But it's very, very strong, and I do like what the deck gets to do. It is a deck that you can like fully commit to and get really good with it down the line. Probably the best cards for it. The Vinsmoke Reiju here, being able to get a draw 2, and then our leader effect lets us draw 1 more card, is actually pretty insane. being able to get that consistency for you helps you out quite a bit. Obviously, the stage 2 German Kingdom, being able to discard a card, look top 3. When 1, you can play your cards from your trash already, so you don't even go like -1, but then you are really dependent on finding your pieces, so that's really helpful for you there too. We have stuff like Queen. Queen is probably like just a decision point. If you like the Yonji package, you are more than welcome to go for it. I just do not like it enough to play it. I think like 2 copies of Queen are fine. Sometimes I rarely play this card, to be honest, but without having to commit like 4 cards to make it worth it, and just have it like the 2 means I have more room for everything else. So, but I don't think playing Yonji is wrong. It's just like the easiest one to cut from the deck. Niji is great for like removal, especially since there's a lot of 4 cost. Again, like this is a 4 cost meta, so this being able to get like a free removal of like a Kiko Nojo or something, put it back in their hand, feels really bad because they'll never really want to play it. And then Ichi, sometimes if you're able to just play 2 of these back to back, you win the game because it's a 7-drop 7k. So it's very tricky to get rid of these. These get a lot of value not only from being able to attack on their first turn, but also being able to get like some removal or help remove some other cards. So if your opponent has like a 5k out, then you can play Ichi and then make it -3, -2, and then you attack with your leader into them. So it's 5-3, so they have to spend at least 2 cards to get out of it. And then you're still sending a 7-drop 7k to your opponent's leader, which is pretty strong. So last card is the Judge. I played 2 copies of it. I don't think this is good enough to play 4 copies. If you want to run 3, go for it. If you don't like this card at all, you can take it out. It's just kind of up to you, but I do think some matchups get a lot easier if you're able to establish this card. If you're playing Yonji, you probably want to play at least a couple copies of Judge to get the full combo for it. But I think it's just an okay card. Sometimes getting a Dawn is pretty tricky for this deck. So I think that's mostly it for this one. I do like the deck a lot. I think it's super fun, and there's just a lot that you get to do with it too, which is pretty cool. The only other thing is that like it does have like a really bad matchup against Red Purple Law. So if that deck gets a bit more popular, this deck gets a little bit worse. But other than that, I think it's in a good spot. So here is the build there. And then lastly, we have Gecko Moria. And to be honest, this is a pretty basic build. I do think this is kind of like a little bit maybe even too basic. I don't know. It's strong as a deck that I really like. Moria is kind of like like in between of like a Sakazuki and a Gantioti Doflamingo, being able to play stuff from your trash and being able to use the like the Dawn ×1. You discard a card, play something from trash. You get to play it for 1 Dawn less, which is great. Because of that too, you can really be afforded to run a lot of cards that like don't have counter, because you can discard them for free and then still be able to play something from your trash as well. Sindri is really good as like a starting turn. I didn't think this card was good to play out, but then there are just so many times where I needed more cards in my trash, or I wanted to find the pieces for me, so I think that's helpful for you. And then we are playing like the Rebecca Rob Lucci. The more I play this deck, the more I think that there could be like the Thriller Bark version, so that's probably what I'm going to be testing pretty soon. I just didn't have enough time to do it before this video, but there could be something with this deck. I'm going to try it out a little bit on stream as well. But I think Moria is pretty open. You do have a lot of options for removal. Obviously, being able to use something like your leader can attack and then play either like an Absalom, which lets you give KO a 2 or less, or you can also play a Perona as long as your opponent has 5 or less cards. Give something -3 cost, and you can like do a Rob Lucci, or obviously Great Eruption is still a really good card because it's going to get hit in the next couple months, and Ice Age is pretty good there too. So generally just kind of trying to get like max value from Gecko Moria, being able to use this to play like Haimepo into a Rob Lucci. You get a lot of removal potential for that one too. Even just like a Suru and a whatever, Gecko Moria gets there too. So I think that's strong. And yeah, it's just a really obnoxious deck that gets a lot of value and gets some flexibility with it as well. So there we go. But this is going to be the build for this one, and that's going to be it for this video in general. So nothing, again, too special from deck lists, but I did want to just give some example deck lists for you guys to check out and get some just templates as you are getting your product for OP06. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what this meta looks like. I know some people are like a little bit worried it's going to just be like the end of Asia's, and I'm a little bit skeptical if we're going to get anything too unique for us as we play it. But honestly, it looks like a lot of fun, like a lot of unique leaders. Honestly, like four out of 6 of them being like viable and interesting is above average for most of the time. So that is what we have there. So that's gonna be it for me. Thank you again for watching. Good luck for your polls for OP06, and I'll catch you all next time.